Hey guys, Mike here. So today I'm here to talk to you about Sicario 2 Soldado. In this review I'll be going over a brief summary of the plot, my quick thoughts about the film and whether or not you should go and see it. So I'm going to try and keep this review spoiler free. However, if you don't want to know anything about the film and you want to go in completely blind, then I suggest come back to this video once you've seen the film. So with that, let's get started, shall we?
You're gonna help us start a war. With who? Everyone.
So Sicario 2 stars Benicio del Toro as Alejandro and Josh Brolin as Matt Graver. In Sicario 2, the drug war at the US-Mexico border has reached a critical level, and the government hires Matt and his team to help combat the problem. And their way of fixing this problem is to get the Mexican cartels to fight each other, thus doing the job for them. So after seeing this film, I can easily say that you do not need to see the first film in order to watch and understand this movie, because the only thing that really carries over is Benicio del Toro's character and Josh Brolin's character. Other than that, there's pretty much nothing carried over from the first Sicario film to this new one. And speaking of Benicio and Josh, they're easily the best thing about this film, because they each elevate the film's level of quality with their great, intense performances. And I want to give a special shout out to Josh Brolin, because with Avengers and Deadpool 2, and now Sicario 2, 2018 has definitely become the year of the Brolin. But now with that, let's talk about the actual film itself. So going in, I didn't really know what the plot of the story was going to be. I saw the trailer, I got a rough idea that they were just going to play by no rules this time, and that was pretty much going to be it. Now, the trailer didn't give away the whole movie, but it did give away a lot of the opening scenes, so it removed a lot of the intensity behind them. But other than that, the trailer did a good job of not revealing too much about the movie. Now, for the first half of this movie, I was really invested with the premise with the cartels being at war with each other and the Americans being the ones who caused this problem. But then, a little bit halfway through, it kind of shifts gears and turns into a bodyguard movie. And then in the last 10 minutes of the movie, it turned into a Revenant kind of movie. You'll get what I mean if you do see the movie. Now, the first Sicario film, I didn't really think much of. It was one of those ones where if someone tells me that they really enjoyed it, I can see why they would say that, and if someone tells me that they really didn't like the film, I can also see why that would be. I mean, I know that's the case with a lot of films, but with this one, I can really see both sides, and I could make arguments for both sides as well. But with the second film, I did feel like I actually enjoyed it more than the first one. I mean, the start of the film really had me intrigued, but as the film kind of carried on, it kind of slowly started to decline, and I started to lose a little bit more interest. I mean, towards the end of the film, they were doing things where I was like, wow, this film has a lot of guts, but then they started to take a lot of those things back, and I was slightly unimpressed with that. And for the most part, I would say that Del Toro and Brolin stay consistent with their characters, except for this one part where Del Toro makes a decision based on emotion, where if you've seen the first film with what he actually did in that film, with massacring man after man, families and everything like that, and then you see the decision that he makes in this film, you're pretty much there just like, when did you suddenly grow a conscience? It's not one of these things that ruined the character for me, it just kind of made me feel like, oh, okay, now you're suddenly making good decisions. I didn't really buy it. Now, watching the trailer, I thought this looked like quite a gritty, realistic film, except when Del Toro did this.
Adios.
I mean, there are no words for it, this was just very dumb. But when it's actually done in the movie, it makes a lot of sense why he's doing that. And like the first movie, this movie has a secondary story arc following a small teenage boy who's trying to get into the drug cartel with his cousin. And it pays off towards the end of the movie, but I wouldn't say that it paid off in a way where I would have kept it in the movie. If you changed the ending slightly and got rid of this story arc, it wouldn't have really made any difference, and I think the film actually probably would have been better had it not been in the movie. Overall, guys, I would say this is a mixed bag kind of movie. Del Toro and Brolin were definitely the best parts of it, and the cinematography was really good as well. I wouldn't say this is a film that I'll be remembering a couple of years down the line. I would just say that it was, just a half-decent movie. I mean, if you like the first Sicario movie, then I would definitely say that you'd like this one too. Because the first film just feels like a separate entity that didn't really feel like it needed a sequel, it's hard to say whether this film felt necessary. And depending on how much you like it is pretty much whether you can decide whether this film was necessary or not. For me personally, I'd say it doesn't really harm the franchise it being made. It's just, I don't really think it was necessary to be made. Okay guys, that's my quick review of Sicario 2. If you've seen it, what did you think about it? And what's your favourite drug cartel kind of movie? Whatever it is, drop it in the comments below. And until next time, I've been Michael. See ya!